The world is looking at the 2026 Sepang timing sheets and seeing a Ducati parade, but they are falling for the oldest trick in the paddock. Alex Marquez sits at the top, yet the factory has been whispering about a mechanical ghost haunting their GP26 prototypes. While the fans cheer for a new lap record, the insiders are watching the telemetry of the man in last place. Toprak Razgatlioglu isn't slow. He is the subject of a high-stakes engineering experiment that has gone completely off the rails. Yamaha has abandoned their identity, trading the smooth inline-4 for a V4 beast that refuses to be tamed by anyone but a genius. This isn't a practice session, it is a technical insurrection. The Turkish Tornado is intentionally sacrificing his speed to map out a power delivery system that no one else can handle. The mirage of the leaderboard is designed to keep the competition comfortable, but underneath the surface, a monster is being fed. The real war isn't for the fastest lap, but for the soul of the M1. At 185 centimeters tall, Toprak is essentially a giant in a world designed for horse jockeys. This is the untold angle that mainstream news refuses to cover. Every millimeter of exposed bodywork is a massive aerodynamic drag at 340 kilometers per hour. While the Ducati riders are tucked into a perfect kinetic cage, Toprak is fighting a war against the wind. The factory has unearthed a fatal flaw in the M1's current ergonomics. The seat height is too high for his frame.
This creates a physical penalty that no amount of late braking can fix. He is essentially a Formula One engine trapped in a drag-heavy chassis. The insiders know that until Yamaha redesigns the aero specifically for his height, he is riding with a ball and chain attached to his leathers. It is a technical struggle that has pushed the rookie to his absolute limit. He isn't just fighting the clock, he is fighting the laws of physics that favor smaller men. This height restriction is the hidden barrier between Toprak and his first MotoGP victory. Marc Marquez didn't just survive his morning crash, he turned it into a weapon. The veteran has been conducting subtle psychological operations on Toprak all day. Every time the rookie finds a clear bit of tarmac, Marc's shadow appears in his peripheral vision. This is a calculated disturbance designed to break the flow of the most aggressive braker in racing history. Marquez knows that the stop-rack style is the only thing that can bridge the gap between Yamaha and Ducati. By deliberately occupying the rookie's apex, Marc is signaling that the hierarchy of the 2026 season has already been decided. It's a legal battle for mental real estate played out at 100 miles per hour. This isn't about data, it's about showing the newcomer that the paddock belongs to the king. The tension in the pits is thick enough to cut, as Toprak's team realizes they aren't just racing a bike, they are racing a master manipulator.
The mental fatigue of this shadow war is more draining than the Malaysian heat. The factory in Japan issued a silent directive on the morning of day 3, detune everything. Following the technical problem that caused Quartararo to retire, the engineers are terrified of a permanent sleep for their primary power units. They have unearthed a vibration issue in the V4 crank that only appears under maximum load. This means Toprak is fighting with a leash around his neck. While the Ducatis are screaming at full volume, the Yamahas are being held back to 90.
During day 3, the telemetry revealed that Toprak is putting 30% more pressure on the front forks than any rider in history. The factory is whispering that the Michelin tires simply cannot survive this level of violence. It is a kinetic chain failure waiting to happen. Every time he dives into turn 1, the engineers hold their breath, waiting for the front end to give up the ghost. They are trying to find a tipping point where the bike stops resisting his input and starts working with it. But for now, the bike is winning. Toprak is being forced to unlearn a lifetime of instincts just to stay on the road. The frustration is visible in his body language. The bike is a cage he can't escape. Behind the scenes, the pressure on Toprak isn't just coming from the stopwatch, it's coming from the boardroom. The contract that brought him to MotoGP is buried in clauses that no one was supposed to see. It is rumored that the Y factor behind his move was a massive investment from title sponsors who demand an immediate return. This creates a psychological cage where he cannot afford to fail, yet the equipment is nowhere near ready. He is carrying the weight of a billion-dollar brand on his shoulders while trying to learn the most complex racing machines on Earth. This substance struggle between corporate expectations and technical reality is the final straw for many rookies.
Toprak isn't just a rider, he's an asset, and the asset is currently underperforming in the eyes of the shareholders. Every slow lap is a hit to the stock price, and the board is starting to ask questions. He is fighting a war on two fronts, one on the asphalt and one in the executive suites of Tokyo. Despite being 21st on the grid, the data scientists at Yamaha have uncovered a terrifying secret. In the Sector 3 hairpins, where engine power matters less than raw bravery, Toprak is the fastest man on the track. This is the untold angle that should have the rest of the paddock sweating. If Yamaha can solve the aerodynamic track and the engine reliability, the Turkish Tornado will be untouchable in the technical sections. He is finding grip where the Ducati riders are sliding, and he's doing it with a detuned engine. This is the final straw for the skeptics who thought he couldn't transition from superbikes. The telemetry shows he is carrying 5 km/h more corner speed than Bagnaia in the tightest turns. It's an anomaly that proves the talent is there. The bike is just a few updates away from being a weapon of mass destruction. The insiders are watching this specific data point, knowing that the leaderboard is a lie. When the M1 finally wakes up, Toprak will be the one holding the ignition key. The 2026 season has entered the era of load management, a term usually reserved for the NBA, but now vital for MotoGP survival.
The engineers are deliberately limiting Toprak's laps to prevent him from pushing the bike into a permanent sleep. They are treating his body like a fragile component, knowing that one high side at Sepang could end his career before the first race in Thailand. This is a calculated substance struggle where data is prioritized over glory. They are forcing him to ride safe lines, which explains his lowly position on the charts. It is a long game strategy that the fans don't understand, but the reliable insiders know it's the only way to win a 22-race season. They are building his endurance, not his sprint speed. This method is the tipping point for modern racing. You don't win the title in February, but you can certainly lose it. Toprak is being mentored to be a marathon runner in a world of sprinters. The slow times are a sacrifice for a much larger payoff later in the year. The central conflict between Toprak and the 2026 tire compounds is reaching a boiling point. The Michelin rear tire is designed to be loaded progressively, but Toprak's point-and-shoot style is like a hammer hitting a glass window. The factory has been whispering that the heat buildup in his rear tire is 20 degrees higher than Quartararo's. This is the hidden debt of his aggressive style. If he doesn't change his DNA, he will destroy his rubber within 5 laps of a race. The engineers are desperately trying to unearth a setup that protects the tire without neutering his speed.
It is a technical riddle that has stumped the best minds in Italy and Japan. The real reason he's at the bottom? He's running test compounds that no one else is using, trying to find a rubber that can survive his violence. This substance struggle with the tires is the final piece of the puzzle. Until the rubber meets the road on his terms, Toprak will remain a sleeping giant. The clock is ticking towards the season opener. As the Sepang Test comes to a close, the paddock is packing up for Thailand, but the atmosphere has shifted. The reliable insiders have seen the secret test times from the afternoon sessions, and they aren't laughing at Toprak anymore. The factory has finally unearthed the correct weight distribution for his 185cm frame. The mystery of his slow pace is about to be solved with a new aero package that debuts next week. This is the future peak that contradicts the common narrative. Toprak Razgatlioglu is about to shock the world. The substance struggle of the first 3 days was a smokescreen. He has learned how the V4 breathes, how the Michelin tires bite, and how the Marc Marquez shadow war is played. When he rolls out in Buriram, he won't be in 21st place. He will be at the throat of the Ducatis. The 2026 season isn't going to be a walkover for the Italians. It's going to be a massacre, led by a man who spent 3 days in the shadows. The real race is just beginning.